no.
Gummy bears.
That was a hard no.
All right, do your thing.
Okay, I'd like to open the Town of Pownal public hearing on traffic ordinance on May 13th at 5:30 PM. Amendment to the traffic ordinance, number 24. A person violating any or preceding ordinance related to litter and or debris shall be fined not less than $250 or more than $500 for each offense. A person shall be fined $500 for each offense thereafter. Number 25, a motor vehicle transporting garbage, rubbish, brush, sand, gravel, stone, or any loose debris over a public highway within the town of Pownal shall be secured and or covered at all times. 2, public comment. 3, adjournment. So can I entertain a motion to accept?
Make a motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion or any changes? Bob?
Not to the, oh, aye.
You're
Aye.
just doing the agenda, right?
Right.
Yes, aye.
Angie, aye. And Hap just joined us. You're welcome. Do you have a thing in front of you?
Yes.
Okay. So, traffic ordinance, everybody has? All right, so is everybody fine with 24? A person violating any or a preceding ordinance related to litter and or debris shall be fined not less than $250 or more than $500 for each offense. Does everybody agree with that?
I do.
I don't.
Bob?
Yes. So I don't agree with it. The reason I don't is I think we need to differentiate between a commercial vehicle and somebody who inadvertently drops something out of their vehicle. I mean, think about those of us who drive pickups. Somebody throws an empty coffee cup in the back of your pickup truck and it blows out. You didn't even know it was there. $250 for a first offense. That's very different than 25, which is a motor vehicle transporting garbage and isn't covered, and all that shit's blowing up. Stuff is blowing out all over our roads. And all that stuff is blowing out. All
Fine, sir, I just got one.
Yeah, it's $1 in the jar.
Isn't the state a $75 fine for littering?
Is it
I think state's $500 straight across the board.
Is it $500 all the way across?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm okay with it, Bob, only because for 4 days now, the state of Vermont has been trying to clean up Route 7 right here in Pownal. And when I come through, they have at least 20 to 30 garbage bags, and they're not even halfway up the mountain yet.
No, I understand that, and I'm not making an argument for litter, but I am making an argument that if there's a big difference between a resident who fills up their truck and is trying to do the right thing and goes to the transfer station and something blows out and now they're on the hook for $250. We might inadvertently be incentivizing people to wait until dark and just dump it near where they live rather than risk driving across town and doing the right thing. I think there's going to be unintended consequences here, and I feel very strongly that somebody who is not a litter bug but accidentally or whatever, a cup flew out of their car or whatever, and that's $250. That should be treated very differently, and that's a first offense. I wouldn't mind it going up very quickly. I mean, if you get caught twice, then I agree totally. But the first time, and you've never had an issue in your life, and you're on the hook for $250 seems very excessive to me.
Jamie?
I'm thinking it's gonna give you a more incentive to turn around when you see that in your mirror flying around out of your truck, to come back and pick it up.
Well, it might, but it also might give you incentive to do illegal dumping in the middle of the night, because what do we charge people for illegal dumping?
Well, I think that's the next step on this, Bob, or we can incorporate it now, as far as I'm concerned. I think we put in this same ordinance, we add illegal dumping fee of $1,000, point blank. And
Yeah, but you're going to weigh that the $250, they're not going to say it's going to cost me $750 more. It's going to be, I am less likely to get caught at all doing my illegal dumping than the, I would be perfectly okay with a rapidly accelerating after the first offense. But I think we need to differentiate between commercial and I mean, somebody who's driving a truck up and down uncovered and the crap is blowing out of his, I said crap that time. I think that's on the borderline. So, and the crap is, and the stuff is blowing out of their truck is the exact same fine as the coffee cup example that was inadvertent. That's just not reasonable. We got to be reasonable with these
Well,
things.
I think
Crash, so we're gonna impose these on everybody.
I think that should fall on the law enforcement officers as much as anybody when I think about that, because if a person drives down the road and you know, myself, for example, I'm driving down the road with my pickup and I have some stuff, you know, coffee cups and whatever in the back of my truck and it blows out, then that's what the court system is for, and you can fight it in court. But
that's also the whole point of a first offense and a rapidly increasing second, third offense. That's the whole point of that, and that's why those things exist. I really think we need to differentiate between commercial and private, and I think we need to not treat the one-time offender like this. This is way too much.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, if somebody's driving up Mount Anthony Road and me, for example, I'm driving up Mount Anthony Road and there's a trooper or sheriff following me and something blows out of the back of my truck and I get pulled over, the $250 that the town imposes, the state fine, because that's the state police mandated patrol zone, is $500. So our fine is half of what the state is saying is the fine.
And they may give you an opportunity to pick it up.
Well, but that's the state being overly restrictive is not a reason for us to do it. And if we do $25 or $50 or something much, I would say $50 on a first offense, and then I'd be perfectly fine if it went to $250 for a second and $500 for everything after that. But we're not even differentiating between commercial vehicles and you know, you or me driving down the road. It's all like it's the same thing, and those aren't the same thing.
Can I just say one thing? There's a lot of people out there in this town that work for themselves and they don't have commercial vehicles, but they transfer a lot of things. And if they happen to have an incident and you go to them and they get caught, they can say, I'm a private citizen and not get fined.
But that's the point of the first offense. They can only say that once.
Well, who's the keeper of the gate for the first offense? Who's that going to be? The state of Vermont, or are we going to have to keep that ourselves?
Yeah, I don't know, but I would imagine that's already there. If Joel's pulling somebody over, there has to be shared information, but that's a good question. But I would think that there's shared information between the sheriff and the state police.
I mean, how would Joel know if he pulled me over on Tuesday afternoon that
You don't have a previous.
well, that Officer
incident.
Miller from the sheriff's department didn't pull me over on Monday night for the same thing?
Well, that's well, certainly you will be able to tell if the sheriff pulls you over twice, and you will be able to tell if the state police pulls you over twice. But I would be very surprised if I would be very surprised if they weren't sharing information, but that's a good question to reach out and ask. That's a very good question to reach out and ask, because the same is true for any other offense. If I get caught speeding a second time, I can't get away with that because it was the sheriff last time, and it was the state police this time. They share that information. I can't imagine that they're not sharing these as well.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Rebecca's gonna call Joel right now and ask him.
I don't know. I after our conversation, I thought about that, and the state fine, we're already half of the state fine, whether you're commercial or residential or whatever you are.
Can someone display the state statute that's $500 for a first offense?
It's on signs everywhere you drive.
Yeah, it is.
$500 fine for littering.
Okay, so it should be pretty easy to find then.
It should be. You're online. I think we need to set a precedent. I understand that you think it's too much. What do you think, Ronnie?
Well,
We already voted on it. for
Right.
something.
We did vote on this already.
Yeah, we voted on it once.
Yeah, we already voted on this once.
All right, I have an answer for you.
Okay, great.
So I just talked to Joel Howard and he said, here's what it is. If the ticket is issued to the driver, so an individual driver, a local driver, individual driver, that yes, it will show up when they get the second offense. They'll run they'll run the plate or they'll run his license number and the first offense will show. However, if it is registered to the company, then the only way you can tell is the DMV, and he does not have immediate access to the DMV. So there will be no way to tell first, second offense for the business trucks.
Right.
Yep.
That's what
Trucks that are registered to
That's
the
what I
business.
thought, because
well, I
business,
looked it up online. And it says subject to fines up to 500. It doesn't say first offense 500. But let me drill in deeper and maybe get better information.
Did you hear what I said about Joel Howard, about what he's able to access when he pulls someone over? Bob?
Yeah. Actually, could you?
Yeah, let me repeat that, okay? So Joel said that if someone is pulled over and the individual, the person, if John Smith is issued a ticket for a first offense littering, okay? Then when he does it the second time, John Smith will show up in his system and he'll be able to see, oh, he already has his first offense and he can give him the next level of ticket. The problem is that if the car is, the vehicle is registered to a business, you will not be able to tell if it's a first or second offense in the same way.
But you
It's
could tell
only,
it was a-
listen, this is what Joel said, only the DMV, and he does not have immediate access to the DMV records because he's not a stating. So that's what I understand from Joel Howard.
okay, and I don't want to be a pain in your butt, Bob, but we already voted on this at our last meeting and we agreed on this and it was passed.
All right. Well, it's that's fine. I wish somebody had joined and we got some feedback from the public. That is incredibly well, anyway, it's too late. We voted on it.
Right. I'm just pointing that out.
Visit it, but it's-
We did vote on it.
I mean, we're not differentiating between public and private. We're not differentiating, well, public, private, it'd be between commercial. The other thing that we talked about is, and I think this might be it's on the same vein, but it might be a little off topic, is we need to investigate what we can do to have Casella enforce the rule there, turn away trucks that aren't covered. Because if you start hitting them in the pocketbook that way on the commercial vehicles, that'll have a much bigger impact than finding grandma $250 because something blew out of her car.
But you also have a local person. If Joel pulls somebody over because a cup blew out of the back of their vehicle, I am sure that, not going to speak for him, but he most likely would probably give that person a warning and not
Go pick that up.
a citation. Where the second time, if he sees it happen, I'm sure he will give them a citation of the $250. It's just like when you're on the road and you're speeding. Sometimes, I mean, all the fines are the same for every single person. It depends who pulls you over. You might get a warning, you might be let go, you might get a ticket.
I never got a warning.
So
Yeah, I think.
I'm sure that they would be very fair for the first, something like that. We're talking about people going down the road and garbage just flying out, flying out, flying out. We've all seen it sitting here at this table.
I can show you a video
Well,
right now.
that's true, but that's not what our ordinance says. So that's what we talked about and that's how we justified it. And our ordinance is much broader than our justification.
They get out of work and they go to McDonald's, and as they're heading south, once they finish their meal, I can tell you from Jackson Crossing down through past my house, It's a
Yeah,
dump.
if I saw somebody throw something out of there, I would want them to get the fine. If I saw a McDonald's bag coming out of somebody's vehicle. But yeah, and I'm making no argument I am not saying that we don't need to do something, nor am I making a pro-litter argument. That's just not true. Yes, I see a lot of McDonald's stuff too, and it's very offensive. We
I
want to.
Day on Center Street, I picked up 22 Dunkin' Donuts clear plastic cups in the exact same spot. So that person is going by every day and throwing their Dunkin' Donuts plastic cup out behind a building. 22.
I can tell you.
Yep, and if they got caught twice, they would already be into the $250, and so they would have had one of those for $50 and all the rest at $250.
I think if somebody gets pulled over in Pownal, that is a Pownal resident, and gets fined $250, that is going to be known all over the place, and maybe it will give somebody a second thought to think before throwing something out the window.
Okay, but the second half of that was we might be encouraging illegal dumping.
I don't think so, because we're gonna add a fine right now, right, Mike? We want to add,
I'd love to add an addendum to this, for illegal dumping. If you're caught illegal dumping in the town of Pownal, you'll get fined $1,000. Now, I know it's not an easy thing to catch people, but I've had people dump on my property, and it's a nasty job to go through the bags. But I can tell you what, I found letters and I found mail in the bags, and called the person up, and they happen to live in North Bennington. So it is possible. It's nasty.
What is the fine today?
Nothing.
there is
We
nothing.
don't have anything for an illegal dump.
We
It is-
really don't have anything for illegal dumping?
I couldn't
Nope.
find anything, Bob, at all. I could find absolutely
Well,
nothing.
I am 100% in support of that. And when I go through the bags, I found a sandwich.
Well, I can tell you, I probably would have ate it too, but
So we
depends on how
wanna-
much green stuff on it.
Yeah.
So we want to add an addendum for illegal dumping.
Under 24, a B,
You want to add it under 24B?
just a number, separate number for it.
We can do it as a 24B. I think that's probably the right place for it, because that's
Solid
where,
trash.
that's right.
So do we need a motion for that, please? So I need somebody to make the motion. Go ahead, Mike.
I'll make a motion that we add 24B, that any person or persons caught dumping illegally in the town of Pownal will be fined $1,000.
Second that.
Any further discussion? Bob?
I'm sorry, a little bit further discussion. Do we have a definition of illegal dumping?
Anything. You don't just throw anything out. I mean,
No, I mean something that, a legal definition that should go with the ordinance, right? At what point, if I throw, for example, in Harry's example, it's very clear that if I threw a couple of bags out of the back of my pickup truck, that's illegal dumping. It is very clear that if I threw a coffee cup out of my pickup truck, that's
Right.
litter.
non-biodegradable.
But what about like Harry's example of a McDonald's bag or 3 or 4 McDonald's bags? At what point do you draw the line? And do we know, and do we care?
So I can read you the Wikipedia definition, and we can craft some language right now. Illegal dumping, also called fly dumping or fly tipping, is the dumping of waste illegally instead of using authorized methods such as curbside collection or an authorized rubbish dump. It is the illegal deposit of any waste onto land, including waste dumped or tipped on a site with no license to accept waste.
No,
There you go. That's perfect.
Well, but that could apply to one piece of trash or more, right?
Absolutely.
you want,
So by interpretation, littering could be dumping.
yes,
I think-
The problem with that.
I see your point, Bob. And so this is my interpretation of it. A truck driving down the road and garbage blowing out of the back of the truck
Oh.
is not in my estimation, illegal dumping, but
I
when
have a
somebody,
definition. I have the difference between the two.
okay, cool.
Okay, so
Sorry.
is there, no, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think I can get
No,
there
that's
before you
fine.
do. Okay, so is there a difference between littering and illegal dumping? States often distinguish between littering and illegal dumping. The difference is determined by the type and volume of waste. For example, improperly disposing of a small amount of typical household garbage, such as throwing an empty beverage bottle onto the side of the road, is littering. On the other hand, dumping a larger volume of household waste, such as bags full of garbage or an old refrigerator, would constitute illegal dumping. State laws differ on the volume of household garbage required to constitute dumping, but the amount may be as little as that which fills a garbage can. The type of waste is also relevant. Illegally disposing of toxic chemicals, etc., may constitute dumping. So what I'm thinking is that you can create a definition. I can write something right now that says that illegal, the definition of illegal dumping is anything larger than a garbage can of, or anything that's a bag of waste, not individual things, or any one item that is toxic in nature.
How about, how
Five
about
gallon
anything
bag.
more, how about anything more than a 13-gallon? Well, 5 gallons, go with 5 gallons, Jimmy, that's fine.
Yeah, a 5-gallon,
5 or 10 gallon bag, I don't know.
5-gallon trash bag.
Sure.
Okay. So anything more than a 5-gallon trash bag and or any one item that is considered hazardous materials.
Hazardous or toxic, yep.
Any one item, no matter its size. Okay.
All right, does that satisfy you, Bob?
I think you should let
Yeah,
me.
I think that's a good definition.
No,
Okay.
and I think that was a great point,
Yeah,
actually.
okay, go ahead, Rebecca.
Okay, so let me just finish writing it and then we'll read it so that way you guys are actually voting on specific language so we don't have to come back to a hearing again.
Okay,
So anything more than a 5-gallon trash bag and or any one item, no matter its size, if it is classified as hazardous or toxic. Okay. So what we're going to say is, well, the first part will be any person illegally dumping, how should we say the beginning part? So,
I'm gonna rescind my motion.
okay.
You gotta pull your second back there, Jimmy.
I
say resend my second.
rescind the second.
Thank
All
you.
right. So, no person, oh, how about this?
I can do it.
Okay, got it. I was just gonna copy number
Any-
26.
Any person or persons caught dumping anything larger than a 5-gallon size container or which is deemed hazardous or toxic will be classified as illegal dumping.
Okay.
And fined $1,000.
Any person disposing of waste any larger than a 5-gallon trash bag and or any one item, no matter its size, if it is classified as hazardous or toxic, will be in violation of illegal dumping. Okay.
Okay.
Will be in
Violation.
violation of illegal dumping
With a 5,000 or a
Dumping.
$1,000 fine.
ordinance, and every act carries a $1,000 fine.
Perfect.
Second that.
Any other discussion? Bob,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye,
Mike,
Aye.
Angie, I.
What about Ronnie?
Ronnie,
Ronnie,
you wanted this husband.
I guess we'll have to go along with it. You guys decided on it. It's all right.
Well, what do you want to
Do you wanna
say?
say something,
discussion?
hon?
Go ahead.
No, I think $1,000 is quite a bit for a 5-gallon bag. That's what a person has. I don't know what a person has. I don't know what they're dumping.
They're
So,
dumping everying, tires and
yeah,
They're
air
dumping truckloads,
conditioners and
usually.
I
refrigerators.
realize they're doing that, but I mean, if we're gonna,
And we're paying our guys to go clean it up.
where are we paying them? They weren't picking it up on 7,
No, but we have sent,
246.
we have sent our town
Joel
crew.
Joel and the town crew have been doing a really good job of picking stuff up when somebody's filed, called and had a complaint. I gotta give them a lot of credit for that. They really and truly have.
Yeah, they were up here picking up a mattress and box spring.
They're
near
pretty,
my
they're
house.
pretty diligent about it, to be honest with you.
We gotta move
We
along.
don't get anything for that. We just have to pick it up.
Well,
Correct.
if you can, yeah, if
But
you
we're
can find out who it
getting no
is,
$1,000 or nothing. We get nothing.
Right.
we
Well,
can
we're
figure
still
out who it
paying
is, we get $1,000.
Yeah. figure it out.
Good luck.
Figure it out.
It's good luck.
Oh, it is.
Ronnie. No, it's good luck, but
So Ronnie, do you agree or disagree?
Well, I gotta disagree on the $1,000. I think that's quite a lot.
Okay,
It's a little steep.
all
As far
right.
as I'm concerned. Who am I?
So
So
Ronnie's a nay.
unfortunately, the
I don't-
motion
I don't ride the
carries.
back roads.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ronnie's a nay.
Okay,
I'm a no.
second.
I make a motion we adjourn.
No, no,
Oh,
Wait a
no.
minute.
Sorry.
Why?
We gotta-
Jesus Christ, wasn't
We gotta
supposed to
6
start till 6.
No, this one was 5:30 and we got another one at 6.
6.
Since when did we have one at 5:30?
This was at 5:30.
I-
Okay, number 25, a motor vehicle transporting garbage, rubbish, brush, and gravel, stone, or any loose debris over a public highway within the town of Pownell shall be secured and or covered at all times.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
We're all good with that? Do we need a motion? No,
Oh, we
okay.
already made it.
All right, and then we had a call from Jim Koses on number 29, a person violating any of the proceeding for the ordinance shall be fined not less than, and it's for the,
If he wanted a public comment, he had plenty of opportunity to do it tonight, right now.
we're gonna change the wording. It should be preceding instead of proceeding. Preceding means before,
Right.
proceeding means after, and
Correct.
that was the problem. Okay, so we're gonna fix that.
Yeah, but you're changing the amount as well, right? Or no, was that not where you're changing the amount?
No, we're just
No. they don't-
changing the word from
Okay, got
Yeah.
it.
Price
proceeding
on
to
that.
preceding.
Got it.
Okay, now can I entertain a
Well,
motion to,
hold on. I just wanted to cover one other thing because of the email and what we've all got to witness. And that's number 28.
oh, yes, I was gonna say that in public comment.
Um,
The bicycle.
The bicycle.
Yeah.
20.
Get out here, I can read it.
We
Got the lights on.
did have a letter from a concerned resident, so it is in our traffic ordinance. Go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah.
Number 28.
Under 28, it says all bicycle operated in town of Pownell shall operate in a single line to the right side of the highway going with traffic shall be operated in careful and courteous manner. All bicycles must obey all traffic and control signals and devices in accordance with the Vermont state laws.
Can isn't there a fine in there for $100?
Yeah, so that's what
Yeah,
it is,
yeah.
$5 to $100. That's preceding.
That's why I wanted to make sure that was changed from proceeding to preceding.
Yeah.
The
So-
one above it. So $500 to $100 for each violation.
I got a problem with the $5, but whatever. I'm not gonna split hairs. Not gonna split hairs tonight. Or at least on this. I think what I'd like to do is maybe we can post that on our Facebook page, Megan.
Sure.
And in our, Pownal Matters or wherever, a bunch of different
Make a
places.
flyer. We'll make a flyer.
That's right, post it
Especially
up.
with summer and
Summer
everybody
coming and
out.
if we just
Yep.
get that posted out there, I'd like to see that done.
And I would hope that would be for anything that's out there. Horses,
Right.
one by one, ATVs on the roads that they're supposed to be on, one by one, not side by side, and be courteous of
How do you
people.
race one by one?
I didn't say race. Can I entertain a motion to adjourn, please? We have another meeting to start.
I make a motion.
Oh, first
to
of all, I'm sorry. Is there any public comment? There's nobody there with their hands up or
No,
anything,
there's
right? Okay. Can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
Just made it.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Bob,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Mike,
Hi.
Angie, I, Ronnie?
All right.
All right, thank you.